Hi, and welcome to the Trucking Scribe. It's Esther. Today we're going to look at making a folio. If I can get it open. I knotted it up. That has a box pocket right there. So you can put cocoa in it, or you can put chicken soup. This is a great Christmas gift. There is a little pocket right there to put something in. So you got two pockets. It closes up and it's got like a 1/2 inch spine. So then I'm working on a digital print to go with it that is based on the directions that we do today. So got your little pocket right there. This is another one of them. So I do have the measurements that I write down in the video. Follow the link in the description. It'll take you over there to those directions, the measurements that we did for this, the scoring and the cutting and all. And I will also be uploading the digital that I have that goes with these. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you and have a great day. So today we are working on our series for our Christmas gifts that I'm putting in my shop for sale, and would be great quick little gifts for you to make for your friends and family. This one I put in 2 pockets with some ephemera, and then I put in hot chocolate, and I'm going to put in a candy cane and maybe some chocolate. I haven't got that far yet, but I definitely want to put in a candy cane. But see how this gusset there opens? I would like it to be bigger and be able to fold around better. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a template. So there is a video that Miss E over at Scrapbooking with Me made, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. She made a chocolate and tea book cozy little thing. I forget what you call it. But she did, and now she already had her measurement before she started. But what I'm going to show you is how to make your own template. So I want a 1/2 inch on the sides for that gusset thing, and this will make sense in a minute. So I'm going to do 1/2 inch, and what I'm doing is I'm lining up my ruler right here on that, or right here on the edge of the paper. And I love these rulers for that reason. It's a quilting ruler. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it one round, one side, and I'm going to use this side, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have 2 lines 1/2 inch apart. Okay. So then what I want to do is get my package, whatever I'm going to use. Say we're using this. Let me see if I find something smaller. This. So I'm going to give a little bit of room over here, not much, because we're going to have a 1/2 inch width on each side. So I'm going to mark it right there. Now, if I were doing this, I could even bring it over to about right here, but I'm using the width of this to know what size I'm doing. Just like I'm using this as a template. So again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to line up my ruler here on the edge. That way I can get my start. Here is my little mark right there. So I'm going to get the closest I can to it with the line over here to line it up so it's straight. I'm just going to draw a line straight down. So now we have one line. We'll move over to 1/2 inch, which is right here. And line it up all the way top to bottom. Then I want another 1/2 inch so I can see where to cut this. So we're just going to move it right here, 1/2 inch over from there. Line up our line. Oh, crooked line. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm not using all this. I'm going to cut this side off straight as I can get it. Okay. Now, I'm going to pull out my scoreboard just because I fold perfect. You don't have to have your scoreboard out. I'm just going to score these so they'll fold for me. And you can do this with the scoreboard to start with instead of going through all these steps. But what I'm doing is just showing you how to get the size that you want. So now I'm going to take and fold it here. I'm going to fold it again. We're going to do the same thing over here. So you got, should be looking something like this right now. And then we're going to fold the bottom. Okay. So we can start here with our little marks and kind of see how it's going to fit in. Looks like it might be about right. See how it's in there. So I'm not going to worry about that part. So what we're going to do now is this right here. We are going to cut out. Just cut out the square. Okay. So you can throw those two little pieces away if you want. And I have some, we call that washi tape over here that I'm using just to secure my little template down. And I was using, what was I using? This, and I started over because it just looked like too much chaos for y'all to see it really well. So you don't have to use plain white sheet of paper. You can use something that's already been written on. You could use mail. So this would be good for a template. It's one of those thick mailers. Use it. I'm just going to fold this one over too. Okay. And what I didn't do, and I need to go back and do it, since we did decide that the top was a good spot, what I would like is for it to go about right there. So again, I'm going to line my ruler up with the top edge that I know is straight. And I'm lined up right down through here on that 1/8 of an inch line. And I think what I'm going to do is actually give this a 1/2 inch lip so that it can fold down and give it a little more structure on the top. It may not need it, we'll see. So now this is my top part, and I'm going to cut this off. And remember, all I did was lay this down and figure out I wanted a little bit of this poking out the top. And I may make something to clip on here, paper clip or something, not paper clip, staple on there to make it look prettier, sticking out. So I'm just going to cut this part off. Okay, so don't need that. I'm going to try fold that over. Not too bad. Okay. So I'm going to fold it over like that. That'll be held down. I'm going to fold this up towards me. I'm just got it upside down right now. Put that there. So now if you're using a washi tape, you're good to go. You got your sides. You can have your pretend back side. Just like that. See, you can slide it in there. So what I'm going to do now is take my ruler again, and I'm going to measure these lines and write on them. I'll just flip that over. since it's okay. So I know that this is a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. So that makes this line 1 inch, and this line 1/2 inch. I'm just going to write inch because that looks wrong. So the same thing over here, although there we go. So here is the 1/2 inch line, and here's the 1 inch. So what I'm going to do to find out what size this is over here, I'll take my ruler, and this is why this is a great ruler, because you can line it up. So right here is where my first line on this side is, which is, I'm going to put it in red, 5 1/4. And then this one, I'll just move my line up right there to that one, and we're at 4 1/4. And we'll just keep going. I know we already measured this, but I'm doing the red so we can see it better. 1 inch right here, and 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's all of our measurements this way. We do need to know where to cut our paper. So the overall paper, I'm just going to draw a line. It's 5 3/4. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing here. And remember, here's that top line, so we know where we want that at. So we're going to cut this at 6 inches. I'm going to go ahead and put that little bit of a 1/16 of an inch. So 6 inches up and down. And then this here is 1/2 inch. This one is 1 inch. So now we have our measurements. And I think I'm going to stick them on the back so it looks better. So all the way across is 5 3/4. Going this way, it's going to be 6. This right here is 1/2 inch. Let's see. I'm going to write this 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and then 4 1/2. So 4 1/2 right here. And then right here it's going to be 5 1/4. Yeah, I got my bottom ones too, don't I? So I need 1/2 here, and then 1 inch here. So first we want to take a cutter. And probably the best way is going to be to cut this way, since it's, we'll cut it at 6. We're so close to that 5 1/2, but we'll do it at 6. And then this way, wait a minute. See, I just cut it wrong, but we can still do that. Let's do 5 3/4. Okay, so that's this way. Now we're going to do 6. This is not quite 5 3/4. And 6. That way you can see which way I'm going here. I'm going to take my scoring tool. And I guess I can take some of this off. So I do this so I'm not marking up my board as much. So now what I want to do is I want to score this at 1/2 inch. And I will leave this, I will leave you a link so you can get all these measurements. So I'm scoring it 1/2 inch and at 1 inch. Then I'm going to go over here to 4.5 right here and 5 1/4 right there. So that's all the lines going this way. Now we have these two. Just going to flip this, and I'm going to score at 1 and 1.5. So, yeah. So the way I do this is, because I'm more of a right-handed person, I would score at 5.5 and at 5. So if I turned it this way, you see it scored at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And now we have fold lines. And then here's where we're going to take out this square and this square. Oh, and we forgot I forgot my 1/2 inch at the top for the fold over. And you can take some of this out. I'm going to leave it. I think it will give it a better crease. I'm going to take this out. And if you need to, you can write on this side because you're not going to see it. And after you get the first one, you'll figure it out pretty quick. It's really easy. I'm actually trying to go inside those score lines, so just above and just below, so that it will fold right. So I'm doing a little bitty angle right there. So these would make great teacher gifts. So that's our top that's folded down already. We can cut a notch in it. We'll do that in a minute. So then here, what I want to do, this looks like it's going to be a little bit poking the wrong way, is I want this to fold like that. So you've got this going in like that, and then your sides are going to wrap around like this. I'm going to use glue, and you just need some right here. You could use a hot glue gun. I forgot to get one out, and where it's at, I don't know. So I'm just going to clamp them down. Looks like I might need to wet the other side out a little bit. So I'm wanting this to be as square as possible. And you can see right there, I'm a little over. And really, it doesn't take long for that glue to set up. So if you just want to hold it for a second. Okay, so it's pretty much dry. It's a little unsquare, but I think I'll have to find my hot glue gun for the next one I make. That's okay. See how this turned into that? And we actually could have left a side on it and had a box. Maybe we can do that in just a few minutes. We'll figure out how to do the box part. Or maybe what I'll do is Wednesday we'll do the box. That way I'll have plans already for Wednesday. So now you're going to decide how you want this. You need 1/2 inch for the spine of whatever you're using. So I don't know if this is going to be long enough. Let's see. 4.5. Oh no, I'm doing this crazy. I think we're going to be all right. So what I want to do is take my little box here, and I want maybe 1/4 of an inch right here. So I'm going to mark, let me see it, 1/4 of an inch here. And then the big part that I'm looking at now, I'm going to set this at my 1/4 of an inch. So now I want this to be like 3 3 3/4. Okay. So this part is the width of your cover. So I'm going to go at 1/4 right here and just put a little mark. And then I'm going to come over here at 4 1/8 and put another mark. Then I want to do a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to score at 4, actually 4 1/8 and 4 3/8. That's not right either, is it? Nope. 4 1/8 and then at 5 7/8. That's 1/2 inch. I'll get this right in a minute. It's 4 1/8 and then 4 5/8. So now what I have is this. And I need to trim that off. Give me just a minute and I'll give you a good. So this is going to be 8 3/4. And then we want to figure out how long we want. Now the length isn't as important, but what I'm going to do, maybe put it right there. And I'm going to go with 6. Yeah. And I will have to come back and show you how to make all these measurements. So this is where our little cards, our little thing's going to sit. It's going to close up just like that. It's going to look a little better than that, but that is essentially what we're doing. So I'm grabbing my hot glue gun just so I can do this. Now I have these. I also have some of these that I could put on here. See how that would look. Actually, they're about the perfect size for that. These that we could put on there, this one's kind of the wrong direction for me. I like this. You could do something else. Just do the sugar plums. Do a gingerbread fall. So you could have a theme of a gingerbread in there. Candy cane. So you could do the hot chocolate and put a candy cane in it. Some kind of miracle elixir. So, those fit just perfectly on these little spots. So you just have all kinds of options. And what I'm going to do to strengthen this, let me see. I do think I want this on here. Looks pretty good. This one, a little round corners. So what I'm going to do is grab my glue book. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this on before I glue the whole thing, just because I want to be able to make this stronger. This stick glue actually strengthens your paper when it goes on. So what I'm going to do is and it actually probably be easier to get on this way because I can stick my fingers down in the little box before I put it on and just turn it over. So what I'm thinking, this is not very thick. It'll be all right. So I do have this I could put on the background. Could do the green, not that, maybe, not the red, too much red. And I don't know where all this paper comes from. I just have all kinds of paper. And this is what I do. I go through here and just lay these things on there and try and see what I like the best. Then you got label. I didn't know I had all these. And I'm thinking for some reason this green So this is 8x8 paper. Again, we're going to need some measurements. So I want this to cover most of my inside. I want it to leave a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just turn this over, and I will give y'all all these measurements. So I've got a little bit here. You can't hardly see it, but it's about 1/8 of an inch, and I got 1/8 of an inch there. Then I'm going to do the same thing down here to give it a little mat. Where is it not? There we go. So my ruler is backwards for some reason. So I'm going to turn my ruler this way and measure. So that way is 4 inches. And this way is 5 7/8. Actually, no, 3/4. No, I'm not doing very good at measuring today. So now what I'm going to do is just take my scoreboard. I'm going to measure this to 4. And then I'm going to measure this to 5 3/4. And I need a couple of these, so I'm going to do this at 4. It's almost, well, it's actually 4. Okay. Then 5 3/4. So that gives me 2. I want something else on the front, but I'm not sure yet what I want. So when I'm making these and trying to design stuff, I kind of do like this as I go and cut pieces, and then when I finally get what I think I want, then I go back and mass make them or add more to them. But I just thought it was really important to kind of show you how to do your own templates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this like, oh, it needs to go over a little bit more. And y'all know I'm putting it on upside down for some reason. That's okay. We'll just turn our paper the other way. Okay. So it's starting to get thicker as we go. So what I do when I get two like this is I use my pinkies to stabilize, and then I move this around, which I really didn't do with that. And I do use both the stick glue and the wet glue. You don't necessarily have to, it's just the way that I do mine. So I'm kind of looking over there to where I got my sides going. You could do the black. So that is 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like to 3/8 of an inch. So that will sit right there. I probably need to cut this with the trimmer, but as we keep putting this paper on, it keeps getting thicker and thicker and more stable, because this cardstock is not very heavy cardstock that I'm using right now. There's just some colored cardstock that I had. Okay, so this is it. It's 65 pounds. So normally I would use 110 if I were printing this design off and no. Okay, so I do want to round my corners, but I think I want to wait and see what I want on the front. I think that's going to be too much. So again, I'm just coming in here, laying this down, trying to see what I like. If anything says, hey, put me on there, then you know, of course, that's what's going to go. Do the black with that. I do like it. It brings in the other side. So again, I'm going to cut it 4 inches and then 5 3/4. Just going to kind of mat it some. So now what I need to do, you see how it's already sturdy and up as it dries. Here's this. What was I going to put on the front? Do y'all remember? I had something out. You know what? That's going to be smaller, so I'm going to have to make this small. Yeah, I didn't quite get 1/2 inch. So when you're doing a project like this, sometimes you have to go back and rethink what you're doing. So what's going on here? So this was folded at 1/2 inch right here. And I scored this one at 1/2 inch. Well, that is too long. See, it's not going to fit inside each other. So what I did is I went and scored a little bit further in. And like I said, this is part of designing your own thing. So I'm on the 6 right there. Instead of 1/2 inch, I'm going to go in 1/8 inch right here. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I lined up my lines and I'm going to come right there. And then I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom. It's right there. So then my folds are a little bit different. And I just took it apart and I'll put it back together. Let's see. Yep, so see. And you could trim it down right there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave that. And I did get my hot glue gun, so let's see if it'll work. I don't know. It may be too fiddly now. Okay. A little bit more on. If not, we will go to the white glue. So I will redo these numbers and put them on there, put them on the thing so you can have them. Like I said, that is part of trying to make your own little design is you take it apart, put it back together, take it apart. So now I think this should fit. Yeah, see how that fits? I'm just going to fit right in here. So first I want to put, while it's still flat, I want to decide what I want to go on the front, which I thought I had something that I was liking in here. Kind of like this. Now what I could do is go ahead and mat this again. See, that just looks like too much red. Could go down like there. And what I'm doing is I just made some little lines. And then I'm matting this up. So see how it's starting to come together? Like that. So we'll go ahead and put this on the red. And if you were doing these for your friends and family, these would be really pretty to sew the edges. Sew around it. Okay. Now I haven't trimmed these corners, so I think what I'm going to do is just leave them like they are because they're looking pretty good and I don't want to mess up a good thing. And the more you layer on, the better. Make sure you're going right side up, so my Christmas is that way. So, yep, I'm gonna go right there. And now with this, I am trying to look at those little pieces that are poking out to see if I can get it halfway straight. I do want to put one of my little tags. Now what I did here was, I have this little heart punch. One day I was needing to put a label on the back of this. Well, I had some of this craft paper. I punched out the heart, and then I have my little stamp, and I just come in here and stamp it. And that has become my little labels for my stuff. I actually want to get that stamp a little bit bigger so it will fit in there, but I put it right here on the back. Now, you can put something on the back to decorate it up. I don't think I'm going to. I did kind of want to look at putting something right there to make a pocket. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to trim it to where you have a little pocket on the side. And I do want to put a notch in it on this side. I'm just going to glue 3 sides of it. And then carefully put it down. So now it's time to put this on here. And I'm going to go in here and put a little glue right there just to hold that down. So I have some hot glue. I think I'm going to try both. And this is colored glue, as you can see. And just so happened I had the red in there. Oh. So I'm going to just take my bone folder and go in there and press down on that. And see how I'm pressing down right there. Just needs a little more glue because I moved it. So our little package, and I did not, I'm going to have to fix this so it will fit right there. I don't like how that hot glue glued it down either, so we'll not be using that to do this again. You can use double-sided tape. I don't have any right now. I have some ordered come in today. I do not like the hot glue. So instead of a 1/2 inch for the spine, I'm going to go up 3/4 of an inch on the spine part for this. So now, like I said, I'll make this a little bit wider for the next one. And if I get some sugar-free, I may stick it in this one. So you could put, and I didn't do it, I need to on the next one, some little ribbon here. So I did have my little bling here that I wanted to put on there. You'll know it's been a while since I've played with my bling. Put this little one right there at the top of that tree. And get it off my finger. Okay. And then you can stick some in here. Put an itty bitty one right there. I wonder what I did with my tweezers. Which this is working out pretty good too. It's an alternative. So what I will do is I will write up our directions with the correct measurements of what we finally came up with. I will have a link for you to put this on. So the second time around, I would put my little strings under that and put the ribbon there. But if you're like me and you forget, just keep going. Do I have that the right way? I think so. Now this would be much better if you did it beforehand. I really like how that turned out. Let me see. No, you know what? I put that right on down. Oh well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and make up a template for this. Hopefully I'll have it up by tonight. If not, I'll have the measurements, but I think I'm going to have this because now that I have my numbers, I'm excited. So you can stick that down in there. Tie it up. Look at that cute little present. I do think I'm going to make it just a little bit taller. I'll bring this down because I do want to put something on there. Let's see. So I just want to cover this up a little bit. I don't want it to be overly ugly. I'm just folding this in fourths. That way I've got an edge all the way around. Let's see. No, not about there. So then it will sit in there. And you got it to work. Actually, that fit just right. Look at that. So what size is that? Like an inch. Okay. So let me know what you think about this and the directions on how to make something for an odd shaped project like this. I hope you'll leave me a comment, hit the like button and the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you on Wednesday. I plan on Wednesday, and we will make this into a box, go from this to the next step, and go back over this part again just in case. So I hope y'all have a great week.